There are men who do not say, "I love you," yet they show it in what they do. Men who do not dare to admit what they feel, but their actions give them away. Why does this happen? And why can someone be deeply in love without even knowing it? To understand this, we must look beyond what is obvious, and that is where Carl Jung comes in. Jung taught that most emotional choices do not come from clear thinking, but from the unconscious mind. This hidden part of us keeps our wounds, wishes, fears, and inner images, and it guides many of our acts without us noticing it. When a man falls in love, he does not always see it at once, especially if he was taught to hide emotions, to act strong, or to avoid being vulnerable. In that case, the unconscious speaks first through gestures, silence, mixed signals, or actions that seem random, but are signs of something much deeper. How does this hidden love show itself? Jung spoke of the anima, the feminine image within the male unconscious. It is the emotional, intuitive, and caring side of him. When a man starts to fall in love, his anima wakes up, and this inner energy reaches toward the woman he loves, even if he is not aware of it. This creates a series of behaviors that you can notice if you pay attention. You do not need him to say it in words. The body talks, the soul cries out. We invite you to watch closely, because when a man is in love and does not know it, he does things that seem small but mean a lot. He breaks his routine, loses his balance, and may even feel uneasy, all for one reason: you are already in his emotional unconscious. In Jungian psychology, we often project onto others what we miss, what attracts us, or what has hurt us. A man in love may project onto a woman the traits he admires, dreams of, or wants to grow inside himself. He looks at you, listens to you, follows your words, and often cannot explain why he cares so much. It is not logical, it is not planned, it is deep. He might even feel afraid of these feelings. He may step back, get confused, and act in ways that do not match. But if you learn to notice these signs, you will see that his soul has already moved closer to you, even while his mind is still trying to resist. Many men were raised to be tough, to not show emotion, and to not fall too deeply in love. This builds inner walls that work like filters. Because of this, love does not arrive as a clear confession, but as a quiet current that flows under the surface through actions he cannot fully control. And this is what makes it so powerful. These actions speak louder than any promise. A text sent late at night, a look that lasts a little too long, a memory he brings up without you asking, a sudden wish to help you, protect you, or even challenge you. All of this is part of the unconscious language of love that reveals what words often hide. Carl Jung said that a person becomes whole when they accept all parts of themselves, the thinking part, the feeling part, and the instinctive part. A man who is starting to fall in love without knowing it is moving through this process. His unconscious already understands, his body already reacts, but his mind still needs time to catch up. What you can do is not to push or demand, but simply to observe. Read between the lines and listen beyond the words, because that is where the truth of the soul lives. When he pulls away but cannot let you go, when he asks for space but still finds reasons to reach out, you are seeing this inner struggle. He may set rules and then break them when he fears losing you. This back and forth is not random and not always meant to hurt. It often shows the battle between what he feels deep inside and what he tells himself on the surface. His heart is already there, even if his mind is still learning to accept it. This inner conflict can make him seem distant one day and warm the next. He might act calm on the outside while feeling a storm inside. Sometimes he jokes to hide his feelings or keeps busy so he does not have to face what is growing in his heart. Yet even then his attention keeps returning to you. He notices small changes in your mood, remembers things you said long ago, and finds simple excuses to stay connected. These are not habits he plans, They rise on their own from a place he cannot fully control. The unconscious is trying to bring what is hidden into the light, step by step, through simple human moments that carry deep meaning. If you are patient, you will see that love like this moves slowly but strongly. It is not loud, yet it is steady. It may not come with big promises, but it shows itself in care, concern, and presence. He might ask about your day when he is tired, or worry when you are quiet, or smile when your name appears on his phone. Even in silence, there is a pull he cannot explain. Over time, as he becomes more aware of himself, these signs may turn into clear words. Until then, the quiet language of his actions tells the story. It says that somewhere deep inside, he has already chosen you, even if he is still learning how to say it aloud and how to let himself believe it is safe to love. So when you see this mix of closeness and distance, try not to judge too quickly. Understand that behind it may be a man who is facing feelings he was never taught to handle. He is learning to listen to a part of himself that stayed quiet for a long time. This takes courage, even if it does not look like it. Your calm presence, your honesty, and your patience can make that journey easier. You do not need to solve his struggle for him. Just being real and open creates a space where his heart can feel safe. In that space, love can slowly grow from something hidden into something shared, from silent acts into spoken truth, and from confusion into a connection that both of you can finally see and feel. And as time passes, you may notice that his walls begin to soften. He may open up a little more, share a fear, or admit that you matter to him more than he expected. These moments, even if small, are steps toward awareness. They show that what started in the unconscious is finding its way into his clear mind. Love does not rush this path. It waits, it learns, and it grows at its own pace, until one day he may finally say what his actions have been saying all along. Until that day, trust the signs you see and the care you feel. Sometimes the heart speaks before the lips do. And when you understand this quiet language, you can see love even in silence, even in distance, and even in the moments that seem unclear, because deep down, they are guiding both of you closer. In this way, what seems hidden becomes visible, and what feels confusing gains meaning, reminding you that real love often begins quietly before it is ever spoken out loud. This is the slow beauty of love that grows from within and teaches both hearts to be brave enough to meet in truth. Love finds its way even when words are slow to come home today. On one hand, his unconscious, linked to his anima, his emotional side, pulls him toward you, moves him, attracts him, and makes him think of you at unexpected moments during the day. On the other hand, his rational ego tries to stay in control, to protect himself from pain, and to avoid giving in to what he sees as a threat to his balance and safety. This inner struggle creates uneven behavior. One day he seems fully open, gentle, present, and warm, and the next he feels distant, cold, or hard to reach. But if you watch closely, he cannot keep that distance for long. What if he's not playing with you at all? Many women read this as a game or manipulation. And yes, some men do play games, but others are simply confused, afraid, or emotionally unready, and they truly do not know how to deal with what is rising inside them. Carl Jung said, "What is not made conscious will appear in your life as fate." In this case, what he does not recognize as love ends up showing itself through mixed actions that shape the relationship without him knowing why. That is why he leaves, but cannot truly let go. That is why he stays silent, yet later reaches out to you. That is why he avoids commitment, but feels jealous when he sees you with someone else. Why is it so hard for him to stay steady? There is an idea that deeply frightens many men, the fear of losing themselves in a woman. Not because they do not want to love, but because they never learned how to stay true to who they are. while loving someone else. That fear pushes them to create distance so they can feel independent again. But when the love is real, the unconscious does not agree with that escape. It keeps pulling him back, keeps tying him emotionally, even when he tries to shut down the connection. Jung explained that the soul always seeks wholeness, and love is one of the strongest paths toward that goal. When he pushes you away, many times it is because he feels he is giving you more power over his heart than he understands, and that makes him feel exposed and weak. So, what can you do? First, do not take it as a personal attack. Often the issue is not you, but his bond with his own emotions. Second, do not try to convince or chase him. His rational side will only build stronger walls if it feels pushed. And third, observe the pattern. If every step back is followed by a return, if every silence ends with a message filled with hidden feeling, if he clearly cannot fully walk away, then there is something deeper than simple attraction. There is an active, unconscious tie at work. This is not about excusing hurtful actions. It is about understanding what is happening and deciding if you are willing to be with someone who is still learning how to love and how to face himself. In the next part, we explore the second sign. He protects you even when you do not ask. One of the purest and most natural ways hidden love shows itself is through the instinct to protect. When a man is in love, even if he has not realized it yet, a force inside him wakes up and pushes him to care for your safety and comfort. Not always with big heroic acts, but through small daily gestures. He checks if you got home safe, offers you his jacket without being asked, watches your surroundings when you are together, or worries about you even when you think it is not needed. Often he will not even know why he is doing these things. Carl Jung spoke about archetypes, shared patterns that live in the collective unconscious. One of them is the guardian, the protector. This archetype is not only physical, it is not about muscles or strength, but about guarding what one deeply values. When a man starts to connect with his anima, the feminine side within his psyche, this guardian also comes alive. And if you are the one who touches his emotional world, it is very likely that his natural response will be to care for you, to shield you, and to think ahead for your needs, without you having to ask or demand anything from him. How does this unconscious protection appear? It is not always clear or dramatic. Sometimes it comes as simple concern like, "I just wanted to check if you reached home safely," or "I do not like you going out alone at night in that place." It may sound excessive or unnecessary, but it is his unconscious speaking through him. He may walk you to your door even when it is not far, stand closer to you in crowded places, or become alert when he feels something is not right. These actions are not planned. They rise on their own, guided by a part of him that already knows how important you are. Even when he tries to act casual or distant, this protective side can break through. He might pretend he does not care, yet still show up when you need help. He may say he wants space, but still worry if you are sick or tired. This is the conflict again, the mind trying to stay in control and the heart already choosing. Over time, if you pay attention, you will see that this protection is steady. It does not depend on his mood. It is there in small moments, in quiet gestures, in the way he notices you. For many men, this instinct feels safer than saying, "I love you." Caring through actions feels less risky than opening the heart with words. So he protects instead of confessing. He shows instead of telling. And in doing so, he reveals what he may not yet understand. His unconscious already knows that you matter, that you are someone he does not want to lose, even if his conscious mind is still unsure how to name that feeling. If you see this sign again and again, do not ignore it. It is one of the clearest languages of hidden love. Still, remember that understanding does not mean you must accept everything. You deserve clarity, respect, and emotional safety too. Knowing what drives his behavior can help you choose wisely. You can be patient, but you should not lose yourself. Love grows best when both people slowly learn to meet each other in honesty, not only in silence. It is the reflection of an emotional bond he still cannot put into words. At other times, this protection shows up as quiet actions. He walks with you even when he is tired, just so you are not alone. He changes his plans for you without calling it a sacrifice. He stays alert if someone makes you uneasy or hurts your feelings. He reacts strongly when he senses you have been wounded. These actions reveal a deep connection. Your safety and happiness matter to him more than he dares to admit. Jungian psychology tells us that many times we act from parts of ourselves we do not yet understand, and in love this is very clear. You can feel a strong urge to care for someone, to protect them, or to stay close, even when there is no clear reason. When he becomes your refuge, your emotional and even physical safety, without any official bond or clear words of love, it is his unconscious leading the way. And the most powerful thing about this is that his protection does not come from duty, but from real desire. Still, it is important to make one thing clear. Protecting is not the same as controlling. If his care comes with heavy jealousy, demands, mistrust, or rules that limit your freedom, then this is no longer unconscious love. It becomes emotional control dressed up as concern. True love does not cage you. It lifts you, shelters you, and helps you grow. A man who truly loves you, even if he has not said it yet, will act from that place. Not because he feels he should, but because deep inside, his soul already sees you as someone he wants to keep safe and near. In Jung's work, the anima is the bridge between a man's emotional world and his rational mind. If you awaken that bridge in him, if his inner world links you with that feminine energy, then he will naturally see you as someone to respect, care for, and protect. And even if he never says, "I love you," his feelings will be woven into what he does, in silences full of presence, in his need for you to be okay, even when he himself is struggling inside. His love lives in his actions, in the way he shows up, and in the quiet strength of his concern. In the next part, we look at the third sign. He remembers things about you that even you forget. This is a strong clue that, without knowing it, he already carries you deep within him. One of the deepest and most ignored signs that a man is in love without realizing it is his ability to remember details about you that seem small or unimportant. Little facts, words you once said, moments you barely recall, but that stayed with him. And do you know why? Because when the soul connects, the mind remembers without effort. In Jung's psychology, the unconscious does not only store pain or hidden wishes, it also keeps emotional bonds, and those bonds often appear as memories. But not just any memories, only the ones that touch the heart. When a man remembers your grandmother's name, how you like your coffee, a song you mentioned only once, it is not because he has a special memory. It is because everything linked to you passes through a deeper filter in his mind, one that gives value to what truly matters. He does not need to try. He does not need to write it down. You are already rooted in his inner world, even if he has not become aware of it yet. So, what kind of details should you notice? Pay close attention. He remembers the day you talked about something that hurt you. He brings up a sentence you said weeks ago as if it just happened. He knows the perfume you wear, even if you never told him its name. He sees changes in how you dress, speak, or look. He shows interest in people or situations you mentioned only once. None of this is by chance. It is a sign that he has been emotionally present, even in moments when he seemed far away or distracted. His unconscious is tuned into you, And the most striking part is that often he does not even know why he remembers all this. He just does. It feels natural to him. Jung spoke about emotions as anchors for the soul. When something touches us deeply, it leaves a mark that time does not erase. If you are that anchor for him, then his memory will keep returning to you again and again, quietly proving that, long before his mind admits it, his heart has already chosen. What touches us emotionally is carved much deeper than what we only think about. When you touch something inside him, a wound, a memory, a hope, it leaves an emotional mark. From that moment on, everything linked to you becomes meaningful to him, even if he cannot explain why. That is why, when a man is unknowingly in love, his emotional radar starts picking up every detail about you, as if some part of him already knows you are part of his life story. If you ever ask him how he remembers something and he says, "I don't know, I just did," pay attention. His unconscious has already done the work. He already carries you inside him. What is most fascinating is that while his rational side struggles with fear, pride, or confusion, his unconscious keeps building a story with you. One clear way to see this is when he remembers things about you even better than you do yourself. Carl Jung said, "The soul follows a different timeline than the mind. The soul feels, connects, and remembers, while the mind looks for control, logic, and safety. So do not be confused if he seems distant at times, but then remembers exactly how you felt on that dark day. Do not think he does not care if he never says, 'I miss you,' but shows up with that book you mentioned only once. Never underestimate the memory of the heart. The soul does not forget what truly touches its core." In the next part, we look at the fourth sign. He gets nervous when you are around, but does not know why. Body language is the soul's confession. There is something the body cannot hide, even when the mind has not yet understood its feelings. And if a man is in love, even if he has not admitted it, his body will speak for him. In fact, it will say a lot. When you are near, he changes. He becomes uneasy, looks at you too much, or avoids your eyes. He touches his face, crosses and uncrosses his arms, laughs at things that are not very funny, talks too fast, or suddenly goes quiet. His whole system is shaken, even if he cannot tell why. Why does the body react like this? Because the body answers to the unconscious. Carl Jung said that hidden or unrecognized inner energy shows itself through physical behavior. In simple words, what you cannot say, you express through gestures, movements, and tension. When a man has not accepted that he feels something strong for you, but his soul already knows, his body is caught between two urges, to come closer and to run away. And that creates nervousness, awkward moments, and discomfort, not because of you, but because of what he feels inside. Many times, a man in this state does not understand why he feels strange around you, why he tightens up when you come close, why he becomes serious or suddenly playful. It is not a plan. It is the ego's natural defense against an emotion he cannot yet handle. Remember, real love brings vulnerability. And if he has learned to guard himself from pain, love breaks his armor. That is why when you are near, there is an emotional shock. His heart beats faster, even if he never says it. He becomes more alert or more restless. He loses control of his usual behavior, says clumsy things, contradicts himself, and shows sides he did not mean to reveal, all because his soul is pulling him towards something his mind is still afraid to accept. You may notice things he does not. His voice changes around you. He fixes his clothes or hair without thinking when he sees you. He becomes more serious or more energetic. He fills every silence or suddenly hides in it. He shows small signs of restlessness, moving his fingers, touching his neck, looking down. It is not fear of you. It is fear of what you awaken in him. Jung spoke about the shadow, the part of us that holds what is rejected, hidden, and unknown. In many men, the ability to love deeply lies in the shadow, because they were taught that strong feelings are dangerous, weak, or a threat to their balance. When a woman wakes up that sleeping part, the man does not know how to respond, and his body gives him away. His soul is already awake, even if he is still trying to stay asleep. That is why he gets nervous. Not because he is insecure, but because the feeling is deep. Not because he dislikes you, but because you already matter too much. In the next part, we explore the final sign. He gets jealous, but will not admit it, an unconscious reaction that reveals what his ego denies. Jealousy often shows the truth before words do. It reveals the wish for emotional closeness. When a man is in love, even if he is unaware of it or refuses to accept it, his body, his gestures, and his silence show what his words never say. He wants you to be his. We are not talking about toxic, aggressive, or controlling jealousy. We mean that sudden, natural, almost childlike reaction that appears when another man gives you attention or when you give it to someone else. It is the kind of jealousy that is not spoken but can be felt in the air. Carl Jung taught that the unconscious reveals what the conscious mind is too afraid to face. When a man feels jealous but does not admit it, to you or to himself, it shows that a part of his soul has already chosen you, even if his mind is still in denial. In this inner struggle, the result is always visible. He suddenly grows cold, his face changes for no clear reason, he makes sharp jokes about the situation, pulls away, then comes back and asks indirect questions in a casual tone. What is happening is not shallow. You are touching a very sensitive part of his inner world. When a man refuses to accept that he is in love, he builds mental walls to explain what he feels. He tells himself, "I don't care, she's just a friend, she can do what she wants." But when you get close to someone else, when another man makes you laugh or shows interest, that wall begins to crack, and what comes out is desire. He does not want to lose you, even if he cannot explain why. Jung spoke about the persona, the mask the ego wears to stay in control. But the soul does not wear masks. The soul reacts from truth. And the truth is that jealousy, when it is brief, calm, and not manipulative, shows a real emotional bond. So how do you notice these quiet jealousies? Watch closely. He suddenly asks about your past relationships. He cuts in when you talk about another man. He changes the topic if you praise someone else. He makes passive comments that sound like jokes. He becomes distant right after such moments. These are awkward but honest ways of saying, "I don't know why, but it hurts to think of you with someone else." And if you think about it, this is one of the purest forms of unconscious love. He wants you, but does not yet know how to claim that feeling. Many men feel jealous not because they think you belong to them, but because they fear someone else might see your value before they are ready to admit that they do. The fear of losing you appears even before truly having you, and inside that fear lives the depth of what he feels, even if he never names it. Do not take this as proof of control, but as an emotional message. Your presence already matters to me, even if I do not yet know what to do with that. Carl Jung said that what is essential always begins in the unconscious. So if this man has not said he loves you, but protects you without thinking, remembers every detail about you, gets nervous around you, and feels jealous without admitting it, then his soul has already decided. His mind just has not caught up with that inner truth yet. Trust what you see beyond words, because often the real "I love you" has already been spoken, even if it has not yet been heard.